Degrassi!
Kidding, not your work. She stole
You tried to get yourself
What did you
killed.
do to my sister?
Hey, what's up? Kerry from DegrassiBlog.com here, and welcome to Degrassi The Boiling Point, the massive 6-week event that is taking over your television weeknights at 9 p.m. on Teen Nick and Much Music. Now I'm going to get straight into it. The review of the very first episode of Degrassi Season 10, What a Girl Wants, Part 1. Season 10 begins with the Degrassi kids' reign of Manhattan coming to an end finally. Well, in Holly J's case anyway, as she's got to return to Degrassi for her senior year. Now, Declan and Fiona, they get to stay in Manhattan, and that's a good thing, in Fiona's case at least, because number one, she's back from therapy and she's doing okay. And number two, she's got this brand new boyfriend named Bobby. Now, of course, since this is Degrassi, the bad thing is, Bobby is basically a douchebag who thinks it's okay to grab on your girlfriend aggressively, and oh yeah, slap her around when she doesn't feel like fooling around with you on the couch. This episode is a solid setup for What a Girl Wants Part 2. Because they have time to flesh out the story, it allows for emotional endings like the one here where we see Fiona trying to cover up her black eye. And by the way, as much as I have enjoyed the freeze frames that Degrassi has done at the end of every episode for like the last 20 or so years, I love the simple cut to black at the end of this episode. It's just one of the small changes that they've made to Degrassi this season. Now, Degrassi has a notorious habit of producing mediocre season premieres, but in the case of What a Girl Wants Part 1, that really isn't the case. It's not as amazing as everyone's saying, but at the same time it's still pretty good. Therefore, it gets a grade of a B. Now, if you've been paying attention, you'll notice that the storylines in Season 10, they're doing them a little different each episode. As a matter of fact, instead of 2, there are 3 storylines per episode. So, on to subplot number 1. Holly J returns to Degrassi to find that her senior year isn't going to be as simple as she thought. First off, she learns that her parents, they're losing their savings and her college fund, which means no Yale, and for her, no Yale means no Declan. She also finds that purple thorn in her side, aka Sav, who has decided to run against her for student body president. Now, this story hits an awesome turn when Holly J goes into that mode where she'll do literally anything to get what she wants. This time around, she convinces Anya to lie and say that she's pregnant so that Sav will drop out of the presidential race. The ending of this plot is classic, as Holly J just so happens, I'm using quotey fingers here, to let it slip out that she knows about Anya's pregnancy, leaving Sav standing in the hall with his jaw to the floor. A big part in judging how good each individual 30-minute episode in Degrassi The Boiling Point is are the cliffhangers. How well do these episodes end? And basically, do they make you want to find out what happens next? Do they make you want to tune in tomorrow to see what's going to happen next? And in the case of Sav and the possible pregnancy, most definitely. That's why this subplot gets a grade of A-. But in the case of subplot number 2 with Mr. Dave Turner, not so much. Dave wants to be Class 10 rep, but even more so, he wants to be with Allie. With the help of Connor, though, Dave develops a Girls of Degrassi page, which basically is a page where he ranks the girls at the school based on their hotness. But of course, the whole thing's a ploy, because Allie's supposed to be ranked number 1 on the list. That'll make her flattered, and she'll love him so much that she'll want to be with him, and they'll be together, and they'll live happily ever after. But a glitch in the program leaves Allie ranked at number 42 on the list, and boy, is she not happy. Sorry, Dave, but your subplot is just not doing it for me. It's not interesting at all. As a matter of fact, it feels more like a filler plot than anything else. And the worst thing is the fact that Ali Bandari, who's been one of my favorite characters over the past 2 seasons, she comes off as nothing more than a girl who's only obsessed with looking good and being popular. It's sad to say it, but I gotta give this Dave plot a D+. Now, is Fiona, is she way over her head with Bobby? Will Sav be too busy being a baby daddy to be president? Will Dave finally get the girl? You're going to have to stick around to watch the next episode of Degrassi The Boiling Point. And of course, for all of your Degrassi news needs, you can find them right here at DegrassiBlog.com, your #1 source for Degrassi news, gossip, and more. Yeah.